What's up, everybody? Tindo here, and I bought a shelf at the thrift store, but I bought a lot more too. Things have kind of been drying up at the Goodwills that are really close to my house, so I decided to drive to the far west end of Phoenix, which is where I live, and go to a bunch of Goodwills there that I haven't quite shopped on camera at yet. Check it out. This first Goodwill is about 20 miles from my house, and the rest of them only get further away from there. And I have been to this one before, but I've never shopped at it for the purposes of my YouTube channel. And I might not have even been to it since I really started hardcore collecting video games. So I'm excited to see what's in this Goodwill as well as the rest of them that I'm going to today. And it's not a bad start. There's a couple systems in this lockbox and a whole bunch of video games. Always surprised to see anything Xbox One. I believe there's a Wii in there as well as an Xbox 360. And over here on top of this lockbox, there's a Xbox 360 steering wheel set up, and it's just taped together, just wrapped with tape. Over at the video games, it's a pretty good start because this big chunk of games right here all have green stickers, and today is the day that green stickers are just $1, so that's always nice to see. It did turn out that all these green stickers, however, were sports games, so I went through my checklist and grabbed the ones that I didn't already have and paid $1 each for them. It's really important when it comes to collecting and shopping for games as much as I do to keep a checklist of what you do and don't have. My list grows longer every day. I think as of making this video, I'm nearing 600 video games, and it was not 2 weeks ago. I was just at 500. So it is really getting to the point where I don't know what I do and don't have. And here's my roommate and YouTube partner creeping up behind me, watching me like a weirdo. But I just use Google Sheets. I don't use any of those apps currently that you can use for making checklists for video games. There are a few out there. Just Google game collecting apps and you'll see what they are. I tried a couple and I just couldn't get them to work as seamlessly as I wanted, and I really like being able to access this sheet on my MacBook, on my PC, on my phone, on my girlfriend's phone. No matter where I'm at, I can access Google Sheets and I can keep that data organized the way that I like. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to know more about how I organize my video game collection information, there is a link below that'll take you straight to that Google Sheet, and you can just check it out. You don't have to sign up for anything, I don't believe. On to the back now. The electronics are pretty skimpy. There's a bunch of Wii Fits, as usual, a joystick, another steering wheel, and then some really random third-party controllers. This little guy caught my eye, but I have no idea what it was. Just some generic game system. And here's everything I got. A bag full of goodies. I feel like there's a pretty good start. Today is Thursday, so that means at my local Goodwills, there's a new sticker color that is marked down to just $1. So today, all green stickers at Goodwill are just $1, which is awesome. So I decided to go to a different part of town that I haven't really shopped at before on video and see if maybe perhaps I can find a certain part of town where there's not somebody who already goes and shops. And it already looks like I've been beaten to this first Goodwill that I've come to, because there's nothing but green sticker sports games left, and they're all in a row. So someone got all the green games, put them all in one pile, took the good ones, left the bad ones. So I've been beat to this one. So let's keep moving and see if I can get to one first. This Goodwill is probably at the top of the list of my favorite Goodwills that I never get to go to. As you can see, it's weird right off the bat. It's got a circular entrance, and I don't know what it used to be, but it's a weird circular, half square building. It looks real goofy from the outside, and it has always been a Goodwill that I find great stuff at. And here's case in point. As soon as I walk in the door, bags on top of bags on top of bags of Skylanders, which I always love to see, and I always love to buy those when they're cheap. I'm trying to get that whole set now that they're kind of out of fashion and nobody really wants them. But here's a little bit of disappointment. Look at this, $25 a bag. That is way, 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 way more than I ever pay. If they were $6 or $7 a bag, I probably would have bought them, because that's typically what I pay for a bag that size. But that wasn't the case, and it sucks because even if I come back at half off day, those are still going to be quite a bit above what I would normally pay. But not all is lost, because the games look pretty good today, which is awesome, because this is another Goodwill that I haven't been to yet as long as I've been hardcore video game collecting. So I just get real giddy whenever I see a bunch of games at a new Goodwill. And There was lots of good stuff, like that Harry Potter game I really would have wanted to buy, but it didn't have its manual. And then Street Fighter, always happy to see a Street Fighter game. And what was really cool about this Goodwill, the prices were great, which is why I ended up buying so many here. Most of them were just $2 or $3. And sometimes you walk into a Goodwill like this and you see just the best selection of games, and they're all $6 or $7 for no reason. But that wasn't the case today. I got really lucky. I mean, on top of finding that Dreamcast, today was just a great day because every game I saw that I wanted was just a couple of bucks. That doesn't happen enough, but it happened today, and I'm thankful for it. This Goodwill, like the rest of the ones that I went to today, was pretty bare, but also in the middle of being restocked, which was lucky for me because I was able to snag this Mario Kart right off of a fresh batch of stuff that was just pulled out of the back. The Goodwill employees are right in the middle of putting that stuff on the shelves, and they don't mind for you to just go ahead and dig through because it's just less work for them to do. If you buy it, they don't even have to put it on the shelves. And I tell you what, some of the best buys are off those carts. The best buys are ones that never even touch the shelves. They're just yours as soon as they come out of the back. Checking all my games before I go, and as you can see right here, it's a good thing I did because there was absolutely nothing in this case, which is funny because sometimes when I'm paying more attention, I can feel by the weight of a case that there's just absolutely nothing in there, but this store is too new to me and I'm paying attention to way too much else to do that, but good thing I checked because I didn't end up buying an empty game. But here's what I left with, a stack of games and the Mario Kart. Pretty happy about that, and there's weirdo Patrick just following me around. On to the next Goodwill now. This was one that I wasn't 100% sure whether or not I'd been to. There's some of them that are so far away from home that I only get to go a couple times a year, so it's hard to be really sure sometimes until you really get inside of them and see if they're familiar. But once inside, I went straight to the lockbox, and this one was a whopper. A handful of SNES games, a handful of NES games, and then, as you'll see here in the top right corner, that up there is a Sega Dreamcast. And it took a second for it to catch my attention because there was also a bag of Skylanders in there. And once I looked up and saw that Dreamcast, I about peed my pants. Because smack dab at the top of the list of consoles that I should have and want to have but do not have is the Sega Dreamcast. And as long as the price is anywhere near all right on that bad boy, I am absolutely, positively, without a doubt, buying that thing. I went ahead and had an employee let me check out the Dreamcast as well as the games that were in the lockbox well before I went and checked the rest of the store because I did not want to let that Dreamcast get away from me. And the price on the Dreamcast was great, but unfortunately the price on most of the games in the lockbox were quite high. They were all $10 plus for the SNES and NES games, but I did end up finding a Sega Game Gear game that I left with. And then onto the back of the store, lots of Guitar Hero guitars, Wii Fit boards, here's a DJ Hero, and then there's a Wii over there, but the price was pretty high on it. Lots of controllers, most of it was just third-party nonsense, and then here's a clone system. Making my way on over to the games now, but I'm not expecting a ton because most of the time, but not all of the time, whenever there's good stuff locked up in the lockbox, that usually means there's just nothing over on the rack. As soon as I got here, you can see that turned out to be true. There's just not a lot of here. Sports games, Wii Fit, not a lot else. And then Patrick handed me a Pokemon VHS. I've been buying up all the Pokemon movies on VHS and just letting them play in the game room as we do other stuff. But I didn't end up buying this one. I told him to put it back. And as you can see, there's no way I was leaving without that Game Gear. So I paid the lady and took it on home. Well, look what I got.
A PlayStation 2.
You can go F yourself. Finally, I own a Dreamcast. Of all the consoles that I own, I don't have a Dreamcast, but I do now. It looks in really good shape. Hopefully it works. If not, I can trade it back in at any Goodwill for trading credit, so fingers crossed.
That's what happens when you go Goodwill hunting.
So that was pretty cool. I've never been to that Goodwill before. It's brand new. You can tell because all the stuff is awesome. They load up the new stores with all the best stuff, which is pretty good for me because I really needed a Dreamcast.
2 thumberinos up.
Now on to the next Goodwill. I was not planning on spending $40 on a console today, so that's going to take away a little bit from how many video games I was about to buy, but I'm still going to go on for a little while and see if I can't find another small handful of games. And there were a few okay games here at this one. Lots of random Wii stuff, and then a big chunk of PS2 games and some goofy stuff like this Monster Garage game, which I need those for the collection if I'm ever going to have a hope of having a complete collection of anything. But I'm going to wait for games like that until the price is right, because that had $4 on it. But I'm very likely to encounter games like that for $1 at some point, so I won't pay that for them. That's my rule with shopping at thrift shops for video games. I'm really not buying many games unless they're just $1 or $2. Unless I really want them and unless I'll play them soon, I'm not going to pay more than $1 or $2. And I would love to play the audio for you of what's going on between me and Patrick here, but unfortunately all the Goodwills in town just blare music, and if I were to turn it up, I'd get a copyright violation. So look, I'm about to blow your mind. Pickaxe, pull on the tip of it.
Bruh. Stabby stab.
On to the electronics. I was really hoping to maybe strike gold again and leave with another console, but we're at the point in the week where all the Goodwills are kind of bare. It's like restocking time. It's a good time to go because you can catch the new stuff, but also the store is not full. Really, the rule with when to go to Goodwills is just to go as often as you can, because you're always going to show up at a different time and there's always going to be different stuff out. It's completely the law of averages. If you go enough, you will find stuff. So I told you that last Goodwill was a new one. Turned out when we drove away, we saw the one that was across the street from it was closed down, which means they just kind of moved across the street. But this one, that one right there, that's brand new Goodwill. It has not been here long at all. So good to know. But we are way on the outside of town, where the town's still expanding and new stuff's being built every day. Now we are on to our last Goodwill, and I'm just walking in with my fingers crossed. I want to put a nice cherry on top of this day because it started out great. It stayed great through the middle. Now, what are we going to find to make it all perfect before we go back to the game room? I don't know, but it's not a good start. There's nothing at all in the lockbox, but there was this shelf. I don't know if it's enough to be a cherry on top, but it is enough to make me feel good about the day because those shelves are exactly what I like to put my games on, and they are $60 new at IKEA, and you know your boy is cheap. He does not like spending $60 on anything. So it was only $10. I'm going to leave there with a $60 shelf for $10. I'm happy enough about that. But let's check the rest of the store. I ran to the toys, and these Playmation sets, I always think they're Disney Infinity, but they're not. They're just a set of toys for kids. So nothing special there. I'm going to go check the video games out. There's a lot of media here, a little bit more media than the normal Goodwill. And there were a good stack of games. And I dug right in. A lot of sports titles, a lot of singing games, a lot of Sims. Here's why you check the rest of the store. Here's a Tekken game stashed in the back of the store, but the price was a little bit high on it, so I didn't end up buying it. But I did go back to my shelf and inspect it, make sure there were enough shelves on it, double check the price, $10. All the shelves are there. I am 100% buying this.
You gonna open the door?
Words cannot even express how hard it is to find these with their shelves in them. I see them every day, just without their shelves. This one has its shelves, so I bought it. There's so much stuff in the back of my van right now.
Hey,
You ever seen this one before?
where am I gonna sit?
That's Gucci, fam. Look at that.
It's in there.
You ever had a vehicle large enough that you can put a whole shelf in the driver's side door?
Should have put it up top.
All up there, that's not a bad idea. The shelves never would have made it home. All right, guys, we are back in the game room, and I'm pretty happy with what I got. Let's go over the nonsense first. Minecraft. It's a gold Minecraft pickaxe, but wait, it's also a sword. This is awesome. I've got a pretty big Minecraft collection. I wouldn't say it's big, I'd say it's modest, but it's growing. I'm buying each pickaxe and sword, etc. that I don't have yet. That's definitely one I didn't have. I'm looking at it across the room here. I don't have any gold stuff, so that's going on the wall as soon as this video is over. Next, this Mario Kart Mario. I think it would be pretty dope on my shelf. And I don't know though. Comment below if you do know. I'm not sure if this is remote control or if it just takes some batteries and drives around on its own. So if it's remote control, I missed out on the remote control, but I'm gonna put it on the shelf anyways. Pretty cool though. Next, a stack of Game Informer magazines. I didn't even see which ones they were. I just saw that it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them for $2.99. Pretty happy about that. So, some Star Wars action. Ooh, Raiden on the front of this one. Some Mortal Kombat action. That's awesome. Definitely gonna have to open that one up. What is this one? Control. Not sure about that one. Oh yeah, look at this. Some Marvel action on the front of this one. And then Disney Infinity. Pretty cool. I don't have a very large magazine collection, but it is growing, and I buy those anytime they're super cheap. Next, let's go ahead and go through the games that I got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. Start out with the Game Gear game. I didn't have this one yet. I kind of thought it was funny. Surf Ninjas. No idea what that is, but I'll probably be throwing this in my Game Gear tonight to check out. But I got it for $2.99. And it was in a protective case, so that's always a bonus. I don't quite have enough of these for my games, so I buy these empty when I can, but you don't see them too much. Next is Rayman Raving Rabbids for the Wii, which is awesome because I love these Rabbids games, and I have not played that one. Let me grab the sports titles that I got. I came across a whole bunch of sports titles at my very first Goodwill, and they were all marked down for $1. And I had about half of them, and I didn't have the other half. So Madden 2005, Madden 09, NCAA 08, yep, NCAA football 05. And I like getting those sports games out of the way for $1 or under, so that was pretty awesome. And then here is the not sports stuff. We'll start with the Wii Skylanders Superchargers Racing, awesome. Featuring Bowser, apparently. And then PlayStation 2, The Getaway. I don't remember this game at all, but it looks alright. I might have to try that one out too. Splinter Cell Conviction for the 360. And almost everything else here that I'm showing you was $1.99. BioShock. Pretty happy about this one. I think I have this one, but it wasn't in good shape, and it was missing its book. I keep a spreadsheet with that information so I know when I see something that looks familiar, I can look at my spreadsheet. And if you're interested in looking at that spreadsheet, there's a link to it in the description below, just in case you maybe want to keep up with my collection and where I'm at. And then Street Fighter 4. I was pretty happy about this one too. Book and everything is there. I'm trying to knock all these Street Fighter games out. There's a bunch. All right, now, the last thing, and what I am most certainly most excited about. I picked up a Sega Dreamcast. Let's get it out of this bag. It's in pretty good shape. It's dirty. It's got some yuckiness on the controller ports and a little bit more on the back. I have not been able to test it if it works yet, but if it doesn't, I will do whatever it takes to fix it. I'm pretty happy about that, and I'm especially happy, and this is probably the main reason I was willing to spend as much as I did on it, because I did pay a little bit more than I normally pay for consoles. It had 2 controllers. Oh, I did not realize this blue one was aftermarket. Not stoked about that. It's a Mad Catz, but this one is first party. But I paid $40 for the Dreamcast, and they're quite a bit more than that at the store right now, more close to $100. But my girlfriend informed me just as soon as I'd left and already spent the money that we had a 20% off coupon, and I could have gotten it for $32. I always forget about those coupons, but that's not bad. I'm happy with that, and I actually already have a box to put it in, so I'll have it complete in box. I'm very happy about that. It also has its cables with it, which is awesome. That means I don't have to go to the game store today just to buy some cables to try this bad boy out. Couldn't be happier about this. Which leads me to my next thing. Leave me a comment below what your favorite thing that I bought today was. For me, obviously it was this Dreamcast. Maybe leave me a comment too. Let me know what was your least favorite thing that I bought. I don't know. Probably 4 sports games. That's pretty silly. But I'm happy about this all. This is a good one. I'm definitely going to need to get back up to that part of town again. But guys, hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure that you hit that bell notification so that next time I post a video like this, you'll get a notification and you'll know to come and hang out with me then. Until then, guys, peace out.
Hey, I'm a shark with a top hat, and I think you should subscribe. Go ahead, hit the button. I'll wait. Okay, bye.